A lot of my California friends that are here, we joke that like we didn't think it could possibly be better. We really didn't, because San Diego is such a special place and we love it.
Are you thinking about moving out of Southern California, maybe to a different part of the country, but you don't even know where to start? Or perhaps making that move seems really daunting? I'm Heather Myers, longtime TV news journalist and now real estate agent, and I'm talking to a lot of people who have left San Diego County specifically and moved to different parts of the country. So, how did they decide where to move to? How did they find their home? And what's it like for them now? All right, so let's check in with Carrie Bobb, who left San Diego County and their family moved out to the Nashville area. Carrie, when did you guys make that move? How long has it been now?
It's been just over a year. We moved early July of last year.
Early July of last year. So, what made you guys and your family of three children decide to pack up everything that you knew in Southern California and take the leap of faith?
First of all, it's such a trip. We still look at each other and go, I can't believe we're in Tennessee. And San Diego, Southern California, is got to be the hardest place on the planet to leave. We love that city. And my husband's a fourth generation San Diegan, and I was there over 20 years. And I can't say that there was just one thing that caused us to leave, but we are people of faith, and we both were kind of on the same page at the same time. And we thought, all right, let's see where this goes. If a door opens, we'll walk through it. We're not going to grind our gears and force something to happen. Let's just take it step by step. And it was crazy how so many doors opened for us and a lot of things tipped in our favor that were out of our control. So it's really hard to answer that question because it's not just one thing. We had a lot of things work in our favor.
I mean, especially for you, because you were leaving not just a home, but a business too. I mean, so trying to like get restarted in a different part of the country, was that easy or harder than you thought it might be?
Yes and no. So I have a brokerage business and then a social media company. And a lot of the people that I work with at Hello Jenny, our social media company, are still based in San Diego. So that's like, I still have ties there. But I was in retail brokerage in San Diego. So starting retail brokerage in Nashville was really daunting. I didn't know anybody, and you don't know how people from California are going to be perceived in the market and things like that. So that has been better than anticipated. Everyone has been so warm and welcoming and really nice that it's definitely been better than anticipated.
Good. Okay, that's so good to hear. One of the things that people have a hard time deciding on is where they're ready to leave Southern California, California in general, but they don't know where to go. And Nashville has been a very popular area, especially for San Diegans to move out to. Why did you decide that outside the Nashville area was right for you guys?
It was kind of the right fit as far as size when we were and we didn't weigh a lot of other cities. We were kind of like, if we move, it'll probably be to Nashville. We're not going to move. But we like the size of it, and I think it's attractive to a lot of people in San Diego because it feels like a big small town, and I feel like that's what San Diego is. It still feels like a beach community, even though it's grown into this large city. And what I've noticed since moving here are the type of people from California that move here. It's like there's a 35-mile stretch from North Orange County to North San Diego coastal. And we've all moved to like a 35-mile stretch from like South or Nashville to Franklin or maybe Spring Hill. And so it's a very like-minded mindset of people who are attracted to here. And it's almost like you know it when you see it, was kind of how we felt when we got integrated into the community and things like that.
Yeah, I know so many people who have gone out there and loved it. I mean, they're so happy there, and we'll get to that part of this in just a minute. But how did you find your neighborhood out there? Because there are a lot of amazing neighborhoods outside of Nashville and a ton of new construction.
Yeah, so we One thing that didn't go super great for us was the first agent we used. So I would just recommend to people that you really vet your agents that you're working with and maybe get recommendations or something. Because the first group was we were kind of driving where we wanted to go. We didn't get a great feeling. And so we ended up switching to someone that was like born and raised in the city. And she knows, like, they all went to kindergarten together. She knows all these people. And we had been looking at the east side of the 65 where all these new master planned communities are, and there's a lot of people from California that are over there, and it's just really cool. You drive through it and it feels like what our home felt like.
Yeah.
And we ended up going on the other side after we found Amy, because she just found these little nuances of these pockets for us, and we love it. It was perfect for us. And so I think truly finding someone that understands what your family is looking for and what you want makes a huge difference, because we thought we wanted this one thing, which would have been fine. It's all great. But after she asked us a ton of questions and we toured a bunch of markets, and she was like, she kind of narrowed it down to this one little subdivision. And she was right. She was absolutely right. And we wouldn't have found it without her.
Oh, that's so helpful for people. Like, find the agent that knows the area, born, it potentially lived in the area for a long time and is asking you all the right questions too. That's
Yes.
so important.
And has worked in that price point and
Mm.
the trade area for a really long time, because I think it's easy for people to say they're luxury home agents or whatever their specialty is, and it's a perception on social media or something. But people who have actually done it and done what you're looking for is really important.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, good advice. And I'm so glad that you were able to find her and that it all worked out too. Okay, so that's how you were able to find your area. You found your house. You moved everybody out there. What went right, Carrie? Like, it sounds like a lot of things went right, but when it comes to the top of your head, like, what were the wins and the successes along the way of making these decisions and getting your family out there?
It costs a lot more than you think it does to move. And so there was just a lot of that. We also moved in 2022, and I think things are a little bit easier now. Hopefully they are for people that are looking to make a move. I mean, when we were moving, there were U-Haul trucks loaded up driving to Nashville, and they were driving back to California empty, like, all the time. So, like, hopefully things have corrected a little bit. Um, and then, we have 3 kids. Our daughter is now in 5th grade, and then we have twin boys who are in 3rd. It was harder for our daughter to make the move than our boys. Our boys were totally fine. The transition to be Titans fans has been a smooth transition.
Good.
Our daughter is great now, and she's doing really good, but we definitely had some speed bumps along the way, and just being prepared for that if you have older kids, I think, is probably a reality as you get closer to middle school, but it's smoothed out. I mean, the people here are so warm and welcoming, and there's so many people from all over, not just California. There's a lot of people from Chicago and Northern California and New York. So it's just a very transplant, warm, welcoming community, and that helped a lot.
And how were you able to help her with some of that stuff? Because I know she's not alone in that. When you move away from what you consider home and you start all over, it's not easy. Did you sign her up for sports or activities, or try to arrange play dates with people that you came across in the area? Like, what was your solution to helping her adjust?
All of that. And it was like, we really just need one friend, right? We need one friend who is, even if people are being mean, or you don't quite fit in, you just need one little buddy. And so I tried all of that. And then it organically, she found 1 or 2 friends. And then it kind of grew to like a group of 4 girls who kind of have hung together. And they were also kind of struggling. There's a lot of people moving here. So a lot of kids were new. And so towards the end of the year, this group kind of like stuck together, and that made a huge difference, just having a small core group of friends.
Oh, I'm so glad that she's found her little circle. And you're right, we only need one. And here she
Thank
found
you.
3 others. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it being more expensive. Are you talking about, because I want to dive into that just a little bit. like getting the U-Haul and organizing moves on both ends, or what were some of the biggest cost surprises that you came across?
So the cost of actually moving, and then our house wasn't ready when we had to be out here to get the kids into school. So we had to get a rental for about 2 months. And again, at that time, it was really, really hard to find a 60-day rental. And so we were overpaying to stay to get our kids even remote. We weren't even staying near the school. We were driving a distance just to get them there. So things like that, just we didn't see, we would have done it all over again, but we didn't foresee some of those like things that we had to work through. And it's really not that big of a deal in the big scheme of things, but it cost more than we anticipated for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Moving is just, I mean, not only is it exhausting, but it's always more expensive than you ever imagine. But worth it. It sounds like for you
Yeah,
guys for sure. Um,
it was. Yes.
okay, so now you're a year in. How's everybody adjusting? You mentioned Charlie found her group of friends, but let's talk about you and your husband. How are you guys adjusting to everything?
Good. We're doing good. We love it. Like we were at our boys, one of our boys is playing tackle football, which is a whole new scene here. Like this is football country. And so we were at this football game looking at each other being like, we cannot believe we're in Tennessee. But it's going great. And like I've kind of tiptoed my way back into the retail brokerage community here in Nashville. Everyone's been really warm and kind. And so my business is starting to grow and take off, which has been really good. And my husband's company is based in Solana Beach, and they were okay with him. That was one of the doors where we were like, if this door doesn't open, we're not moving. And he had asked if he could work remote, and they approved it. And so he still goes back to San Diego quite a bit. So we feel like we kind of have the best of both worlds. But as I was thinking about doing this interview with you over the weekend, and as I was scrolling through Instagram, when we first moved here and I would see people's posts in San Diego, my heart would hurt because it's like, I love that city. And it's like, oh, am I going to love that? Can I possibly love this place as much as I loved San Diego? And that mindset is really hard to overcome. And that took a little while. And then over the weekend, when I was scrolling and I would see people's posts in San Diego, I was like, that is so cool that I got to do that I got to live there for so long and experience like the beach lifestyle and what it means to live in San Diego for so long. And now I feel really lucky that we get to do that here. And I think a lot of it just comes down to each individual person and what you want for your family and what kind of lifestyle you want and things like that. I get a lot of calls from people who are interested in moving to Nashville from California. And while we love it, I'm not trying to talk anybody into it because there's a lot that goes into it. But if it's the right thing for your family, it makes a huge difference. And if it's not, that's hard too, right? To try and go back.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine like trying to reverse that, but that's happened too to people, so I can understand.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about advice that you have for other people who might be considering moving out of San Diego County and taking that leap of faith. Like, what do you wish somebody would have told you?
Um, I didn't talk to a lot of people in Nashville. I didn't know a lot of people. And so if if you have contacts or you know of people who know people or you have mutual friends, I would talk to as many people as I possibly could. We I also didn't want it kind of getting out there that we were looking at moving because if we didn't make the move, I didn't want like the market knowing that we were even entertaining leaving because I didn't want it to impact my business. So I didn't really talk to anybody. I can count on one hand the number of people we talked to before we made the decision. And I think talking to as many people as possible who actually live in the area or who have just made a move. Maybe it's not that same city, but who have done what you're looking to do because it's so daunting when you're looking at doing it. But getting to the other side, it's really cool. And it's an adventure. Like you're doing something that like we never saw ourselves doing this. And we just we crack up that we did spring break in Charleston, and like we get to see a whole new part of the country that we hadn't before. So those kind of things I think are really encouraging to people who are maybe looking to make a move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tempting. I mean, we all see the cost of living here in San Diego, and when we go to the grocery store and, of course, fill up our cars with gas. Did you notice a big difference in the cost of living, once the dust settled and you guys got in and everything compared to what you were spending here in California?
I was hoping for a larger discrepancy, but we're real close to the city. We're only 10 miles outside of Nashville. And I think because so many people have come in, there, it's actually comparable to San Diego, the part of town we live in. But I think the further you get out, the larger the discrepancy gets between the two. So we thought that for the housing market too, like in the Franklin and Brentwood areas, we thought, oh, we'll come out and just pay all cash and it'll be great. And I think though that kind of window has closed for Nashville, unless you're going to like Spring Hill area, and that window is kind of closing. But there's definitely a cost savings without a doubt. Like we're seeing it. It just wasn't as much as we thought when it comes to like housing prices and things like that. But like the taxes and all that kind of stuff, oh yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. And I did notice that when we kind of peeked around, just I'm always looking at real estate all over the country, that, yeah, of course you can get much more for your dollar there, but the houses are not, I mean, you're not walking in there and paying $250,000 for a home. I mean, there's still,
right.
Home prices have jumped substantially. It just seemed to be the day-to-day living, the gas, of course, the taxes,
Yeah.
things like that, that did seem to be, for Californians, very appealing.
Well, and you can build wealth faster here. I mean, that is no question. Like you can definitely accrue wealth faster. And like, even if you're making a lateral move on your home, but you're trying to accrue wealth, even towards getting towards retirement, it's a lot easier to do that in a place like Tennessee or Florida or things like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's super helpful for people to be able to see beyond the housing prices, see what else there is there too. Carrie, what else should I be asking you? Is there any other bit of information that you'd pass along to people who are considering making that jump?
I don't think so. I just think talk to people, because a lot of my California friends that are here, we joke that like we didn't think it could possibly be better. We really didn't, because San Diego is such a special place and we love it. And we're kind of like cracking ourselves up that we get to have such a great life here too. We really love it. And so I think understanding those perspectives makes it making a move a little less daunting. But we love San Diego. And so to tell people to move is kind of hard to say too, because it's such a great city. We absolutely love it.
Yeah. And you get to come visit. So so that's what makes it nice.
We do. We love it there.
Good. Carrie, I appreciate your help so much with this project that I'm working on, and then you get an opportunity to help other people too. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Heather.
All right, Carrie, that was super helpful. Thank you so much. And if you are thinking about making that move out of San Diego, I'm Heather Myers, and I'd love to help you think through it. Here's my contact information right there. I'll talk to you soon.